Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nature Houses, Living Gently on Earth, Part 1 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Go ahead, make war, then win yourself a straight to a hell lotto to keep forever.
Respectful viewers, while traveling in northern Poland, it's likely that you'll encounter the Kashubians, who are thought to have lived in the region since the 7th century AD. You can greet them by saying Witajcie, which means hello in the Kashubian language. I'm Lysander. The pure-hearted Kashubian people wish for peace in everyone's existence, starting with our dining tables. Thank you for choosing life and kindness. Welcome to our show, Nature Houses, Living Gently on Earth, Part 1 of 2. Since the dawn of history, human beings have been building shelters to live in. From primitive caves to apartments in towering skyscrapers, the technological progress in human housing has been incredible. Many earlier dwellings were not only made of natural materials, but also blended in with the environment. Depending on where people lived, houses took on different shapes and styles. More and more people are becoming wary of living in crowded, concrete-laden cities and are moving to more natural environments for the benefit of their mental and physical well-being. Nature houses are once again becoming popular, but have recently evolved to have more modern, innovative twists. In our two-part series, we'll travel around the world to see how some of these housing structures encourage their inhabitants to embrace nature. Traditional treehouse. There is no clear record of when the first treehouse was built, but it's thought that in their most primitive form they consisted of platforms built into trees. It's likely that people in the forested areas of the South Pacific and Southeast Asia built the earliest treehouses to avoid floods. Today, the Korowai people living in the rainforest of Papua Province, Indonesia, still dwell in tree houses just as their ancestors did. These dwellings are mostly built in banyan or one-bomb trees, approximately 8 to 12 meters above the ground. Complete with a sturdy floor, a roof made of leaves and a fire pit, each house is spacious enough to accommodate a family and their animal friends. As with more modern buildings, residents are prepared for emergencies such as fires. Living high above the ground in a jungle has many other advantages as well, such as avoiding floods and mosquitoes. It only takes a couple of days for the Korowai people to build a house that can accommodate 3 to 5 people. These houses are probably among the world's most eco-friendly homes. In the West, people have also built tree houses, but mostly for purposes other than daily living. It's believed that in the Middle Ages in Italy, the monks of the Order of Friars Minor, founded by Saint Francis of Assisi, used to meditate in tree rooms. A tree house, located on the Pitchford estate in England, dates back to 1692. The house was built in a lime tree in the cottage style similar to that of nearby Pitchford Hall. Due to its age, the tree house is currently supported by metal beams. The estate has been visited by England's royal families over the centuries. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, Les Guinguettes de Robinson, a small district in southwestern Paris, was a bustling area lined with treehouse businesses and places for entertainment. The first treehouse in the district, called the Grand Robinson, was built in a chestnut tree by a shopkeeper, and nearby shops soon followed suit. The town offered a nice summer getaway for Parisian families for more than a century. The area is now a Parisian suburb named Le Plessis-Robinson, reminiscent of its past. Whether it's in the Amazon jungle or in a lavish English estate, two basic principles need to be followed in building a treehouse. First, the structure must sit in a tree strong enough to support the building along with the people inside. And second, the tree must have branches spreading out far enough to have a flat floor attached to it. Then, walls made of light materials, a structure made of poles to support the rafters, and a truss for the roof may be added. Finally, a ladder is needed so that people can climb up and down to enter and exit the house.
Animals experience worry, and there is no distinction between the worry of a human to the worry of an animal for its children, because the love of a mother towards the children from her womb is not dependent upon intelligence or speech. Rather, it is a function of the consciousness that is found in animals and human beings. Rabbi Nachmanides, vegetarian.
Knowledgeable viewers, let's now pause for a moment to hear a brief message. We'll return shortly. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our show featuring nature houses. Traditional cave house. In Turkey, tourists from around the world travel to Cappadocia in Ortisar to rent houses built into their rocky mountains in order to experience living in a cave. From around the 8th to 12th centuries, these houses were called the fairy chimneys and were inhabited by Christians who were hiding to avoid persecution. The builders carved out the rock to make the caves and connecting passageways. Fortunately, the volcanic rock in the area is naturally strong, so it provides enough structural integrity to support the dwellings. The builders ingeniously carved out holes in the rock to create a natural ventilation system, with air flowing in through large openings, through the passageways and up through the floors. The dense volcanic rock also functions as a natural heat reservoir, storing heat during the morning and releasing it at night, which keeps the caves warm. The soft volcanic rock also purifies the air as it absorbs and releases air through the rising of heat during the day. The Turkish residents even grew plants on top of their dwellings. What an ingenious design! Traditional turf house. Turf houses in Iceland were originally constructed by settlers in the 19th century using the simplest materials available. Timber was used for the roof structure and the walls were made from stones or layers of stones and turf. Turf was then used to cover the houses from the walls to the roofs. This kind of structure can support the weight of the turf and all the rainwater it absorbs for 25 to 50 years, depending on the regional climate. The foundations and floor are laid with stones and wood to resist the cold from the soil beneath. This also separates the timber structure from the wet soil beneath it, protecting the timber columns from rotting. No openings are visible from the outside except the entrances, so from a distance these houses blend into the landscape. Like the rock used for the fairy chimneys, the thick turf covering the walls and roof acts as a natural heat reservoir, protecting residents from the heat during the day and the cold at night, and also purifying the air inside. Surrounded by earth, the dwellers can rest peacefully in their natural environment and let nature take care of the rest. Traditional snow house. Another type of nature house in a different part of the earth with even a harsher weather is the igloo, a snow dwelling built by the Inuit, the indigenous people living in the Arctic and subarctic regions of Greenland, Canada, and Alaska. The Inuits' ancestors lived in this extremely cold climate for thousands of years and developed the knowledge and skills needed to use natural materials common in the surrounding area to build safe, comfortable houses. Because hot air naturally rises, the igloo is built of snow bricks in a dome shape, causing air to move around and warm the interior before it leaves through the opening at the top. Meanwhile, the heat melts the inner surface of the igloo, making the snow bricks stick together more firmly, thus increasing the structure's strength. In constructing their igloos, the Inuit knew how to choose the right type of snow, which had to consist of 95% trapped air, making it soft and light, but also strong enough to support the structure made of stacked blocks. The Inuit cut blocks of snow from the ground and then assembled them into a dome over the empty space left on the ground. The size of the blocks decreased as the height increased in order to make the structure as strong as possible. After the dome was finished, the small entrance was covered by another snow dome to minimize the amount of heat that escaped. Due to the strength of the dome's structure and the way in which the snow blocks were assembled to create them, igloos could even withstand strong winds. The dwellers would quickly warm up the inside of their igloo with a fire and then sleep on the side of the structure with the higher roof. From learning about traditional tree houses, cave houses, turf houses, and snow houses, we can better appreciate the wisdom and benefits of living close to nature.
No to vegan, maybe brain malfunction.
Insightful viewers, thank you for your company today during our program Nature Houses Living Gently on Earth Part 1 of 2. Please join us again next Wednesday, September 14th for Part 2. Up next is the Shining World Award recipients for selfless acts of kindness, Part 1 of 2, right after noteworthy news. May you forever thrive in the infinite love of heaven.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/CTAW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/CTAW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule и suprememastertv.com/CTAW.
Наши программы предлагают много языков. Пожалуйста, посмотрите suprememastertv.com/schedule и suprememastertv.com/CTAW.